Okay, so we're gonna start with the main intro of the song and we're gonna do the following. We're gonna start doing that. So basically we are just doing a G chord, then an E power chord, an A power chord, and that's pretty much about it. We just do the G chord, we strike 3, second, open D, and open G, all at the same time. And then we just go to an E power chord and we do palm muting and we strike several times. We repeat the same movement again. And now we're gonna change. We're gonna do. We do that. We go again to a G chord, then we strike to an E chord, and then we go to an A power chord, open A, second and second of the G and the D string. Then we just go back again to E, and we finish again with the G power chord and going back to E to do the palm muting. Let me show you in slow tempo and then we just move forward. And that's pretty much about it. That's all we need to know to do with the main riff of the song. Now, before the first solo starts, we're gonna do. We're gonna do that. We are simply doing an A chord, okay? An A chord, open A string, second, and second. We strike twice. And then we're gonna use the muted strings, okay? We strike it 3 times. We just put this hand on top of the strings without doing any pressure and do the muted note. And we just repeat the same movement several times. Alright, and then after we do that, then the first solo starts. Okay, so with the first solo, we're going to start doing the following. We're going to start doing that. We need to go to the D string and we're going to start on the D string. On the 7th fret of the D, we just strike 3 times. And the last time we just slide. Alright? We just repeat the same movement twice. And the next movement, we do that. We strike 7 of the D string, 5 of the G, then 7 of the of the G. And then we strike 7 again and we do a bend, a release, and a pull off to 5 of the G string. And then 7 of the G again, and then we finish on the 5th of the G string. Let's go again. One more time. Next movement. We do that. We strike 7 and pretty much we do the same thing. 7 of the D string, 5 of the G, 7 of the G string, and then 7 again. We do a bend, a release, and a pull off to the 5th, okay? As soon as we do that, we strike 7 of the G string, 7 of the D, and we repeat the same movement again on the G string, 5, 7, and then 7, bend, release, and pull off. And to move forward, we strike 7 of the G string, 7 of the D, and we go to the 5th position on the G string, we strike twice, and then we go to 7 of the D, strike twice, and to finish 1 time on the 5th of the G string. And then the next section comes in. After we end on the 5th of the G string, we go 1 time to the 7th of the D string, and now we're going to strike twice, okay, on the 5th position of the G string. And when we strike it, we need to do a tiny bend. That's what we need to do. And that is the movement 7 and twice on the 5th. And we just repeat the same movement several times. And now, if you listen to the original track, you're gonna notice that at one point there is a tiny change. Basically, what you're doing, you're coming back from twice on the 5th, and you just go 7 one time on the 5th, one time on the 7th, and you just go again to twice and 7. And that's all what we need to do. The next movement, the next position is just the same pattern, but we need to do it on the 7 of the G and 9 of the D. That's all what we need to do. Let me show you in slow tempo, and then we just move forward to the next section. That's all what you need to do. Now, if you don't know where to put the tiny change, it doesn't matter. You can always do twice on the 5th and one on the 7th. You can always play that, and it's still gonna sound good. Okay, so the next movement. We need to do that. So we need to go to 20 of the B string, and as soon as we strike it, we do a bend, and you go to 17 of the E string, then again to 20 of the B string, and you strike it, and you need to do a pull off back to 17 of the B string. As soon as you do the pull off, I will recommend to do a bar on the 17 of the B and the G string, because after the pull off, we need to strike twice on the 17 of the G string. Then we need to go to 19 of the D, 19 of the G, 17 of the G string again, and then again 19 of the D string, 19 of the G, and to finish we go to 17 of the G string, and we do a tiny bend, and we finish on the 19 of the D string. Let me show you in slow tempo. The final movement. We need to do something like that. We're going to be playing on the 5th of the E string, and then the 8th of the B string, the 5th of the E and 8 on the B. So we just strike one time on the 5th of the E string, and then we go to 8, and we need to do a bend. The next movement, we need to strike the 5th position 3 times, and we go again to 8, and we do a bend. And now we're going to strike twice on the 5th and 8 and bend, and that's the movement. That movement we need to repeat it at least 3 or 4 times, I guess. And the last time we need to strike to do 8 bend, strike one time on the 5th, again 8 bend, one time on the 5th, and to finish we're gonna do a unison bend. We're gonna strike both strings at the same time, and we're gonna do a bend on the B string, okay, on the B string, and just on the B string. The E string needs to stay on that position. That's what we need to do. Do the unison bend, and to finish we do that. We go to 9 of the G string, 8 of the B, and 9 of the E string. We strike all the strings at the same time. It's kind of in a sweeping motion. And as soon as you finish, you do a hammer on the E string from 9 to 10. And then the next verse comes in with the same riff we learned before. Okay, so to start with solo number 2, we're gonna do the following. We're gonna start doing that. So the first section, and we need to repeat it many times, we need to do that's all what we need to do. We strike the open A string twice, and then we go to third of the A string, fourth of the A string, and we start again. Open string twice, 3, 4, and again, open string, 3 and 4. Now the next movement, we need to do that. We strike the open string twice, and to move forward, we need to kind of slide to the fourth position of the A string, and we strike it again. So basically, we are just striking the fourth twice. Then we go and strike twice on the second fret of the D string, then to the fourth of the D twice, then fifth twice, back to 4 twice, and then again second fret twice on the D string, and to finish twice on the fourth of the A string. And we start again. Now the next movement, we need to do that. So basically it's just the same idea, we just do it on a different place. We start on the second fret of the A string, we strike it twice, and then we just slide and we go to 6, we strike 6 again, everything on the A string, and now we're gonna go to the D string and we strike 4 twice, 6 on the D string twice, and then on the G string twice on the fourth position, and then again back to 6 on the D string, strike twice, then back to 4 on the D string, strike twice, and to finish we go to 6 on the A string and we strike twice again, and then we start all over again. Now as soon as we finish this section, we need to do that. Actually you're gonna do the same chord we did with the first solo. 9 on the G, 8 on the B, and 9 on the E string. We strike in a sweeping motion, and as soon as we finish, we strike 9 again on the E string. That's the movement. And then we need to do that. We go to 8 on the E string, 10 on the B, and 11 on the G string. And the last 3 times, we need to strike only on the 11 of the G, and then the 8 on the 8 of the E. Something like that. Let's go again. And now, when we finish the third string and the first one, they need to actually keep ringing. Okay, we just need to strike both, and they both need to ring. And then to finish, we need to do something like that. I need more distortion. I just remove the distortion, lower the distortion, so you can hear the guitar without all the noise. So, but you on the original track, if you are playing on top of the original song, you're gonna be playing with a lot of distortion. So it's gonna sound better. So basically, what you need to do is to use the left side of the pick. Okay, you just put it on top of the 17, and you do kind of a saw motion. Okay, sawing motion. That's what we need to do. We just do that. Okay, it's going to be on the first and on the B string, on the E string and the B string, and on the with this hand we need to use the 12 of the E and then 14. We just do the saw motion, and when you're finishing the last time, we move the 14 to the 15 and then 12 on the E, so we keep the 12. And that's it. That's all what you need to do with the second solo, and then of course you go back again to the main riff of the song. Alright, so before we move to the last solo of the song, there is a tiny change between before the last solo. We're gonna do that. That's what changes. We just do the same riff we did before, but this one, it's new. Basically, we are using the same chords. It's G chord, then we go to E, A, back to E, we go to G again, and we go to E, and we just strike and let it ring. And then to finish, we strike it twice. And we just repeat the same motion several times throughout the song, and then the final solo comes in. Alright, so to start the final solo, we're gonna start doing the following. We're gonna do that. So we're gonna go to 7 of the G string, and we're gonna start doing just one bend. The next section is gonna be the same movement, but we repeat it twice, and we do it 3 times, okay? 1, 2, 3. Let's go again. 1, and then we repeat 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And the next section, we start doing that. We go to 7 again, we stay on the 7 of the G string, we do strike, we do a bend, a release, and a pull off to the 5th position. As soon as we finish that, we go to 6 on the G string and 7 of the A of the D string. We kind of repeat the same movement, but this time we strike again 7, we do the bend, there is no release, and then we go directly to 5th of the G, 6th of the G, and then we finish on 7 of the D string. Sorry. That's the first one, and then... Sorry. The next movement, we do that. We go to 5th of the G string, we strike 1 time, we do a hammer on to 6, and then we strike 7 of the D string, and we repeat the same movement 3 times. And to finish, we do that. We strike 5 again, hammer on to 6, and we do the pull off back to 5, and then 7 on the D string, and we strike it twice. Next movement, we just repeat the same movement twice, and we go to 9 of the D string. Okay, we strike it, we do a bend, a release, and the bend, it's like going to 10, okay? It's a tiny bend. We do the release, and then strike 7 twice. We repeat it again. Let's go again. Next movement, we do that. We go again to 9 of the G string. We do a bend, and as soon as we are on the higher part of the bend, we strike it again, and we do the release. Then we strike 7 of the G string, 5 of the G string, and then we go to 7 of the D and 7 of the 5. Let's go again. And now the next section, we're just gonna repeat it several times. That's the movement. It's 5th on the G string and the B string, both at the same time. We strike it, we do a tiny bend, and we strike 7 on the D, and then we do our bar again on the 7 of the G and the 7 of the B. And that's the movement. We just repeat it several times. That's the first, then we just repeat it. And now if you listen to the original track, there are some changes. We do something like that. We go to the 7 of the G string, okay, G and B string, we do that bar, and then we do a bar on the G, the B, and the E string on the fifth position, and we strike all at the same time, okay? And then we go again to 7 of the G, 7 of the B, and then 5 we do the tiny bend, and we finish on the 7 of the D string, and we start again. So basically you just do that, you just listen to the original track and trying to do both if you can. If not, you just can always do, and it's still gonna sound good. So after we finish this section, when we finish on the 5th and the 5th of the B and the G string, we need to do a lick, and the lick is gonna be the following. We need to do that. We strike 5 of the G string. When we strike it, we do a hammer on to 6. Then on the B string, we go to 5, 7, and then basically you just do a bar on the E string and the B string, and we need to strike 5 3 times. That's the movement. And then we do that. We go to 7 of the G string. We do a bend, a release, and then we go 5 and 5, we do a bend, 7 of the D string, we strike again 7 of the D string, and we finish on 5 of the G and 5 of the B. One more time. Okay, so the next section after the previous one. We need to do something like that. So when we finish on the 5th of the G string, what we need to do, and we're gonna do a lot of this on this section, we're gonna go to 9, we're gonna do double stops and go to 9 of the G string and 8 of the B string, and we just strike it down and up. And if you listen to the original track, you notice that he's doing several slides. And that's what we need to do. We just slide it back to 8 and 9 while we are doing the picking. And that's basically it. After we do it several times, we're gonna do one more lick, and it's gonna be. We do that. So we go to 7 of the B, 7 of the G. We strike both at the same time. We do a tiny bend. We go to 9 on the D string, back to 7 of the G, and then we go to 9 on the G string. We strike it. We do a bend, and as soon as we do the bend, we go to 7 of the E string, 10 of the B. We do a pull off to 7, and then we go to 9 on the G, and then 7 on the B string, and then we strike 7 of the G and 7 of the B both at the same time, and we do a tiny bend, and we move forward and strike 7 of the D string. So let me show you in slow tempo, okay? Next movement, we do that. We strike 9 of the G string, 7 of the G, and then 9 of the D string, and 9 of the A string. So I would recommend to do a bar right here. And then we go to 7 of the D string, and we finish on the 9 of the D string. And to finish that part, we do that. We strike 7 and 7 of the G and the B, strike it to a tiny bend, 7 on the G, and then 9 and 9, and then 7 and 7. That's moving. And now the next movement, we're going to do this and we're going to repeat it several times. We do that. We strike 7 and 7 on the B and the G, and then we just strike it again, or you just can do a pull off. It doesn't matter. You can strike it twice, or just do a hammer on, sorry, to 7 on the B and 8 of the G. That's the movement. And after we do that, we go to 9 of the D string and we start all over again. Alright, so you do it several times and then we just move forward to the final section of the song. And with the final section, we're just going to do 3 main positions. Then we're going to play it on different ways, but it's always the same positions. We go to... We do that. We go 7 and 8 of the B and the G. It's going to be always on the B and the G string. Then 9 and 9, and then 10 and 11. So basically, you just do that string position up and down. Then 9. Then 10 and 11. And then back to 9 and 9. And you start all over again. And then you just do it faster, okay? That you need to listen to the original track, and you just play these sections, and you will be okay. Now, when we end this, we need to go to 10 and 11. So we need to do 4 times of the same motion. 3, 4. We need to do that, all right? So we do 4 bars of the same thing. We just slide to 10 and 11, and we do 4 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we just start again, okay? We just do, we start with a new section. With the new section, we're gonna start doing 1 bar of 10 and 11 again, all right? And then we're going to change. We're going to do the following. Sorry. We do something like that. So we start on 10, 11. We do 1 bar. And then we do that, okay? We go to 12 and 13. 12 and 13, then we move 1 position and we go to 13 and 14. Then we go back to 12 and 13. And now we skip and go to 14 and 15. We go back to 13 and 14. Now we go to 15 and 16. And then we just go back to 14 and 15. So basically it's Alright, let me do it again. Alright, and then we just finish on the 16, doing a bar on the 16 of the B and the G and the B string, the G and the B string. We strike several times. And then we just move 1 position on the B string. We go to 16 on the G and 17 of the B string. And that is the motion, 16, 17, 16, 17. So let me play this final part one more time, and then we're just pretty much done. Alright? It sounds kind of crappy because I'm doing in a slow tempo. It's not actually, we need to play it faster. And because on the original track, it's using a lot of distortion. It's a classic distortion, so it's that kind of sound. So if you're playing on top of the original track, try to level the distortion knob. So to finish, after we finish on the 17, we do that, we go to 17 of the E string and we do several bends, and that's pretty much about it. Then there's a few licks. I'm not gonna explain it. Actually, I didn't know that what he's playing on that specific part, and didn't mind to do that. But you can actually try to do something for yourself, trying to do your own ending of the song. So I hope you enjoyed and it was useful to you, and see you on the next tutorial.